Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mahu from Naishe Academy. So, the purpose of this channel is to do as many problems in mathematics and physical sciences. So, the channel will focus on grade 10, 11, and 12 mathematics and physical sciences. So, in the board now we have the problem, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to y. This is the standard form of the quadratic equation. So we have to prove that x is equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So the first step that we do, they want the value of x. So we have to prove that x is equals to this. And as we can see in the equation that we have to prove, there's no value of y. So the first step that we do is let y equals to 0. We do this because we want the value of x. And since we have the quadratic equation that has many variables, which is a, b, c, and y itself, and the x that we want to equate to this. So by proving that x is equals to the quadratic equation, the standard form of this quadratic equation, the first step that we do is we equate the value of y to 0. So we'll have the equation like this: ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. Is equals to 0. Remember this, guys. From this equation, we equate the value of y to 0. We said let y equals to 0. So the standard equation, the original standard equation, which is this one, becomes ax squared plus bx plus c, which is equals to 0. So what we do now, we want the value of x. So everything that contains the value of x, we leave it on the left hand side. So everything that does not contain the value of x, we transpose it to the other side. So we make like this: ax squared plus bx is equals to minus c. Then from now on, we do like this. We have the value of x squared plus bx is equals to minus c. We want the value of x, which is our goal, guys. So we do like this now. We divide ax squared by a, bx we divide by a. We do the same thing on the right hand side. It's minus c over a. So this will cancel out with this one. We'll be left with x squared plus b over a into x, which is equals to minus c over a. Now, from now on, we have x squared plus b over ax, which is equals to minus c over a. So the second step that we do, we take half of the coefficient of x, which is this. We take half of b over a, then we square it. We do the very same thing on this side and on the right hand side. This method is called the completing the square method. So we take x squared plus b over ax, then we take what? The half of b over a, then we square it. It will be 1 over 2, you multiply by b over a, which is the half, then you square it, which is equals to minus c over a plus, because we added half of b over a, then we squared it, we make the same thing on the right hand side. So we'll be having 1 over 2 multiplied by b over a, then everything we square it. So from now on, what do we do? Okay, sharp. We'll be having x squared plus b over ax plus 1 multiplied by b is b, 2 multiplied by a is 2a, then everything will be squared. We just simplified this bracket. So on the right hand side, we'll be having minus c over a plus, we simplify the bracket, we'll be having b over 2a, then we square it. Then we simplify it further. We take this equation, we move it here. Then from here, we have two equations. On the left hand side, we have x squared plus b over ax plus b over 2a, everything squared. And then on the right hand side, we have minus c over a plus b over 2a, everything is squared. Then from this, we do this. you simplify the first bracket and you come to this side, you simplify the second bracket, the second equation, I mean. So from this side, what can we do? We can factorize from here. We have x squared plus b over a, you multiply by a square, plus b over 2a, everything is squared. From this side, you can simplify. From this side, you have to simplify again. By simplifying this side, you have to factorize it. This side, you have to rationalize after simplifying this bracket. So, if you simplify this, you make two brackets by factorizing it. So, you'll be having x and x. Since the coefficient of x is b over a and the half is b over 2a, everything is squared, then we'll be having what? The positive and the positive. But you have to repeat the bracket twice because we're having b over 2 and everything is squared. Then we'll be having what? b over 2a, b over 2a. So on the right hand side, we'll be having what? Minus c over a plus, then you simplify this bracket, then will be b squared over 4a squared. So you have to note, guys, you square everything on this bracket. The b, you square it, and the denominator, we have 2a. So if you square 2a, it will be 4 and then a squared, like this one, guys. We have 4a squared. So from now, we have two brackets. So you can make one bracket from this one by doing this x plus b over 2a. The bracket repeats itself twice, then you'll have square like this one. So it will be equals to minus c over a plus b squared over 4ac. So on the left hand side, guys, we have this bracket. From this one, we have simplified it up to this point. So on the right hand side, we can simplify this one by rationalizing the denominator. Okay, we have a as a denominator, we have 4a squared as denominator here. So we have to simplify this by rationalizing the denominator. Remember, guys, we are completing the square and we are proving that ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 1. We prove that x from this quadratic equation, it is equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Then we simplify this one. This one, we leave it as it is. So simplifying this, we make what? We have minus c over a. So you multiply the bracket by 4a over 4a plus b squared minus 4a squared. So you'll be having what? Minus 4ac over 4a squared plus b squared minus 4a squared. So from now, guys, we are aware that we have a common denominator. So if we have denominator as the same as like this, we have to add our numerators. So we'll be having what? Minus 4ac plus b squared over 4a squared. So you can simplify this by writing it like this: b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. Understand, guys? So you drop this bracket here because we said we leave this one as it is because we wanted to simplify this one. So this one is simplified to this point. So from here we do what? It's 4a squared. So we'll be having what? X plus b over 2a squared is equals to b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. So what do we do from here, guys? We want the value of x. So the x value is in the bracket and the bracket is squared. So what do we do if we want the value of x and the bracket that the value of x is in it, it is squared? We introduce the square root. So from here we say the square root of x plus b over 2a squared. What you do on the left hand side, you also do on the right hand side. So we'll be having what? B squared minus 4 AC over 4A squared. So the square will cancel the square root. So we'll be having what? X plus B over 2A will be equals to, so if you look at this, the square root, you have the square root of B squared minus 4AC over 4A squared. This is called the perfect square because you have the value of 4 and the x squared. So if you want to, the square root of this one will be having what? 2A. Because if you square root 4 and the square root of a squared will be 2 multiplied by a, which is 2a. So from here we do what? This one is simplified, we dropped it. So because of this one, we cannot simplify the unknown. We have the square, which is the perfect square. We have b squared, it's a perfect square. We have 4, it's a perfect square, but the value of a and c are not perfect squares, so we leave them as they are. So on the numerators we'll be having what? If we introduce the square root, we will have plus or minus the square root of something, and that something is what? Is b squared minus 4ac over, here we have the square root of 4a squared. So the square root of 4a squared simplified is what? It's 2a. So from here, what do? We want the value of x, so we transpose this to the right hand side. So we'll be having what? X equals to minus b over 2a. We're having what? Plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So since when we have done this one, I will erase here. So we're having what? We have x equals to minus b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So we have denominators are the same. So what do? We equate, not equate per se, but we add the numerators. So we have minus b, we add it with this numerator, which is plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So this is the value of what? This is the value of x.